Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is episode 25 of our Timberborn playthrough. If you guys are new to the series, don't worry about it. We'll go through a quick recap and then we'll get into the video. So let's get to it. All right, let's go ahead. Let's bring the UI back up. In the last episode, we worked on getting our corn rations up and running. We've got four food factories right now, which I have been told is probably too many, but I think it's okay because I think we can just swap them over in the recipe to either algae or eggplant later down the line. We worked on a little bit of Wellbeing. We got our tribute to ingenuity up and running, which does require power, so that was a very fun little project. And then we continued to work on our dynamiting and our dam building. You can see that they're doing pretty good. So let's go ahead, let's let this run at triple speed, otherwise nothing will get done. And let's move on to our first project of the day, which is going to be over here in River's Edge, and we're going to be working on this mangrove area. So to get this done, we're going to need, I feel like if I put a set of stairs right here, and then a forester, I feel like we'll be able to reach the whole thing. Yeah, totally. And with that being the case, why don't we go ahead, come in here, and we will actually delete all of these. And then I'll probably just go ahead and delete all that rubble as well, might as well. And then that water should just spread out. We do have another, we have a water dump active. And let me just make sure we did have an off-camera drought. So let me make sure that we get all of these back and running. Let's see, has it overflowed yet? Not quite, but we're almost there. So let's come back down here and let's get these ones running as well. Okay, so we got this forester in here, and this will allow us to come in here and let's plant some mangroves. So just like that, we'll get mangroves planted in there. Now, before we go too far, I don't want this one planted for sure, because I'm going to put in another what is it called? Another water dump. So let's go ahead, let's get rid of this path here. Let's get this built so that we can add in another water dump. Where is the water? There we go, fluid dump. And I actually need to come down here. I removed the, oh wait, no. It's this one that I want removed. But now this is in the way. Let me see. So if I were to put it here, would that be a problem? Yeah, it actually would, because I kind of want like a storage here. And then the little path going around. Yeah, so we do need to move this. So let's just, let's get rid of this. We'll just shift this now temporarily, and I should still be able to access this whole area. If I shift it back. What if I put a path in? So if I were to put like a path in there, can I access the area? No. All right, so what we'll do, we'll put the forester in. And we will allow the forester to actually go ahead and get all these trees planted. And then we'll come back and delete it and add the fluid dump in and all that stuff. So we just need to remember to come back and do that. So let's get that built. What we are going to do though, we are going to come in here and put this storage in. This is going to be for Mangrove Fruits. It will be set to supply. I do need to put that path back in. There we go. And then let's go ahead and get a roof on there, and they can build that. It's not super important, but I do want another fluid dump. I'm just worried that one is not enough to keep this irrigated during an 8-day drought. I could be wrong about that, but I mean, as you guys have learned, I don't actually like think about the math of this game. I just do things that look nice and what I feel like will work. And what I feel like will work is having 2 fluid dumps. So that's what we're gonna do. But okay, we will let this, let me just make sure once again, yeah. So everything's marked. We'll let this forester get working on that while we move on to some other projects. Now, up in Wellington, they have so much stuff to work on. And that is understood. However, I'm going to continue to map out the raising of the dam. So let's go ahead, let's get all of this deleted so that we can continue to raise the dam level. Maybe we'll bring it back to there for now. So we'll get some stairs up, and then we will go ahead and get this dam laid. Just because, again, all of this is going to have to come up to a higher level eventually. So I figure I might as well get it up there. Might as well continue to chip away at it. Again, I like giving them multiple things to work on, just because it does allow tons of different builders to kind of divide and conquer, as opposed to just having a couple things and then they don't end up doing everything that we want, or at least they don't end up all working, just because you can only have so many beavers working on a single project at a time. I do want to get that built just so that they no one gets stranded later down the line. So if we just get that built, that'll be good, and that should allow us to kind of leave this to its own volition. Now we're almost at the point where we can dynamite this out, which is going to be good, and we'll just essentially just walk this back as we go, and then eventually we're going to have to bring all of this down to the final depth, but that is a long way off, and truthfully will likely be something that we're going to have to do off screen. Speaking of off screen, I did add in a 5th deep mechanical fluid pump. I just felt that like this water storage area was just getting so large that it just wasn't moving the level at all. Now I'm sure it was filling it, but yeah, I'm kind of impatient. I figured we would add another one in. Who knows? I might add another one in. We might go with 6, but that might be crazy. Who knows? But that is a later project. Okay, so now that we've got the dams being raised, let's go back and check on our mangroves. Yep, they are still being planted. We're not there yet. So let's kind of move on to our next little thing. Now, we've got a bunch of unemployed beavers, and I do wonder, yes, we still got 11 up here. Okay, so we did go back into the negative here, so I am going to turn a few of these back on. Maybe something like that. Turn those back on, and then how are we doing down here? Yeah, still 5 unemployed, but that is creating a little bit of a housing issue. So let's go ahead and take a look. Still a few vacancies in Wellington, 6 homeless in Whirlburg, and then 3 in River's Edge. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to add a little bit of housing. So let's come down here and let's start doing that. So I think, so I could add a house there. Is that ideal, or should I just do it right across from this one? I'm thinking right across from this one. Let's not go too crazy. So that will be a house right there. And then what I might do, just because we are so good on food, I'm gonna remove this, what is that called? Cassava, so that I can put another house right here. Right there. And then actually I'm going to need to get a platform in there. So I'm just going to do that so that we can delete those out. And then I can go ahead and put the path in. And then we'll be able to get some houses there. And now, do I want a way up there? I feel like, yeah, I feel like we probably do. Question is, do I have space for it? Can I put a platform over this? Oh, I actually can. Interesting. So why don't we go ahead, let's remove 2 more of these. Let's get those removed as well. But okay, so that was cleared, so we can now go ahead and put another house in there. And now we can do something like this. So that'll give them a path up, and then we need to go up 1 more. So we're going to need a single and some doubles. So let's go ahead and get some stairs in here. And then let's go ahead and run this path down here, and we'll go into our Wellbeing, and we will get, I'm thinking 3 rooftop terraces. This will just be a great place for some fun. And I think that'll be good. And you know what we're gonna do? Because somebody in the comments, God, I forget who, I really need to start taking notes. Somebody in the comments, I think it was Jason Jazz, called me the Bob Ross of beavers, or Bob Ross of Timberborn, because I like putting a happy little shrub, happy little bush all around the map. So we're gonna go ahead and do that just for that comment, which I really appreciated. I love getting all the comments. It reminds me, hey, go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel. Go ahead and leave a comment. I really appreciate it. As we place a completely irrelevant path. If you're not subscribed, consider it. I know most of you aren't, but it just takes you one click. Okay, so let's, after that selfish plug, let's go ahead and move on to something else that I wanted to do. I wanted to get a little bit more well-being over here. And I kind of thought that on top of these wood piles was a pretty good spot for it, depending on how it looks though. Yeah, see, I don't like that. I don't like how this is a 4x4, but the wood pile is a 3x3. Unfortunately, like this would fit on it, but I have no way of bringing power to it. Yeah, like no way of bringing power to it. At least no way reasonable. I was just thinking about like demolishing all of this and running power underneath all of this. That would be a little bit more obnoxious than even I can stomach. I mean, that would be pretty extreme. Would be pretty awesome though. I do have to say. So what I think we're going to do is we're just going to do something a little bit different. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put in a couple statues. And I think we're going to kind of do the same thing that we did with the food. We are going to sacrifice a tree in order to clear that space up. So let's go into our monuments. I think I'm going to put a labor monument right here, and then I think we'll put a flame of unity right here once they clear that tree, which they are doing very quickly, which I appreciate. There we go, flame of unity. So that should help out a lot, and I like the way that that's facing. I think that's nice. Now over here, many episodes ago, we put these platforms down, and I think we're going to finally take advantage of them by adding another level to this storage. So let's go ahead and get that ready. And I actually just realized I don't need to remove that tree. No, stop. Don't delete the tree. Is it too late? Whew. That was almost... I mean, we could have just planted it again, but that'll be okay. We can go ahead and put this right here, just like that. And this will be for logs. Just a little additive right there. And then in the Bob Ross fashion, another happy little shrub. That'd be perfect. Okay, cool. So now this district is working on some stuff. These shouldn't take too long. They take an absolute enormous amount of resources, but I don't think it should take them all that long. Let's see how the housing is done in this district, which is perfect. So now we do need to move down to River's Edge and add a little bit of housing. They're completely at equilibrium. They're also coming back to equilibrium on the population. But I do think that we could add a little bit of housing. So why don't we come in here, and we could actually add like a large barrack right here, which could be good. And with that in mind, I think I'm just going to fill that in. So let's go ahead, let's get a large barrack right here with a path. And then that means I can actually, if we prioritize this, I can actually go ahead and delete this path. But what do we want for decoration? Or do we want to use this as an opportunity to get up? I think that's what we want to do. So let's go into our well-being. I think I'll add a scratcher right here. And then we'll go ahead and go up to the top level. We can go ahead and get rid of this one. I think that this is the perfect spot for one of these braziers. I don't really know. And then I think we will add a rooftop terrace right here. And then maybe a lamp or maybe a bell. I kind of like the bell. Let's add a bell right there. That'll be good. But that'll give them some decent overage, gives them 16 beds that they can utilize. And then let's come up here, also at equilibrium. So we do need to add a little bit of housing down here. Do I just want to continue in this direction? Yeah, I totally could. It does mean that I have to remove this if I just want to continue this pattern, but might as well. So let's go ahead and continue this pattern here, and then we will go ahead and add a large barrack. And then I think we will get rid of this so that we can add in another rooftop terrace. So let's go into Wellbeing and add a rooftop terrace in there. And then we can come in with some decoration. I think we'll put a bell here and then a lamp there. And then what I might do is throw a platform there just so that I can get that beaver statue back up here that we removed when we began this little expansion. But that'll be good. I don't know, should I prioritize it? Oh, excellent. So we are done with this dynamite. So what we will do is we will back this off a little bit. Just enough so that we can add in the triple here. It should all be able to fit. So let's do that. I am going to put this on the highest priority, just so I can dynamite that away, and then we can kind of move on to some of the other projects that we have in mind. And they're almost done with this middle dam section, which is good, which means we are getting close to the point where we have to rip this out and reconfigure it slightly. It'll still function, it'll still be here. We just need to kind of center it so that we can actually get paths around it, which again, shouldn't be too hard, but just something that we need to do. All right, so let's move over here to what will eventually be our future wood and mining district. And this is going to be a bot district. Now, I know what you're thinking, we don't have any bots, and you would be correct. We do not have any bots. However, we can get bots. Not too difficultly. I don't think difficultly is a word. It will not be that difficult to do, to get bots. And hopefully we will have the infrastructure for the bots established today in this episode. I do need to remember to put a dam in here though, just for overflow purposes. And then we're also going to need to think about how to actually flood this area. I haven't quite figured it out yet. I was thinking of manually doing it. That could get kind of tedious. I was thinking of just having like a ton of fluid dumps with bots, like literally just like, 20 of them right here that could just continuously dump water into here. That might work, but that's also kind of a huge waste of bots. And then I was also thinking of putting like one or two of the deep water pumps in here and just putting like a generator, a power station right here, just to power those, and that might work. So I'd actually love to hear your thoughts about how to keep this area flooded in the comments below. It might just come down to manually doing it, but I hope not. That seems kind of lame. I think we can think of better ways to accomplish it. And interesting, why do we have 2 homeless beavers down here? I just added, oh no, they haven't actually built it yet. Okay, that's fine. And this district, housing, totally fine. 10 vacancies, 10 open beds in this district, 17, which is excellent. Okay, so this beaver is almost done. Just make sure he can reach the whole thing. He can. And then we can go ahead and get rid of that forester and kind of reconfigure this to hopefully work a little bit better. We're really not making progress with the mangrove fruits, but that's okay. Now, one thing that I was thinking, which is going to take ages if we decide to do it, is dynamiting off this hill and using this to plant our 2 remaining foods. Eggplant. Oh, I guess it's just eggplant, because if I remember correctly, the algae, is grown in the hydroponic garden. So we might need another hydroponic garden tower somewhere in here. And I want it in this district. I just don't know where we're going to put it. But I do like the hydroponic garden tower. I think that is a fun concept, and I think it looks really cool. I just need to figure out where it would go. Maybe over here somehow. Let's see if I can figure this out. Editor Nelson here. This fermented tower thing that I was trying to make, the hydroponic garden tower, turned into about 20 minutes of me not being able to figure out how to make a staircase that worked correctly. So we're just going to go ahead. We're going to time lapse through a little bit of this mess, and then I will rejoin you once the tower is built to at least some level of completion and acceptance. So enjoy, and I'll see you guys when we finish it up. All right, and this is what we came up with. It is not exactly what I had in mind, but it works. It's kind of crude, but it works. We got kind of like a staggered staircase going up, and we have, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got 12 hydroponic gardens, and we will use these to make algae. So let's go ahead and get all of these on the algae train, because we really want some algae rations. Doesn't that just sound absolutely delicious? Algae rations for the beavers. No, it sounds disgusting. Then again, most of the food that they eat, at least for the iron teeth, is pretty gross. I think the only thing that they eat right now that sounds remotely appetizing is probably the corn rations, because I'm just imagining a can of corn. But then again, it's a can of corn. No, it's just a can of corn. It's a can of corn in a wooden can. It's probably the only thing that's appetizing. I guess the blueberries too, but I don't really know if they eat the blueberries. Fermented mushrooms, no. Kohlrabi, probably not. I don't really know what a kohlrabi is. Fermented cassava, no. Anything fermented, no. Unless it's like, is kimchi fermented? I think it is. I seem to remember that kimchi is pretty good. Then again, I don't even know if that's actually fermented, but I'm pretty sure it is. Okay, so let's pivot back over here. We are in a drought, so let's go ahead and make sure that we pause all of these. Let's come back over here and pause all of these really quick before we go back to our mangrove area. Okay, so let's come back to the mangrove area. We got all the trees planted, which is good, which means now we can make sure we get that water dump in there, fluid dump. Let's go ahead and get that. I don't really think they're working on other stuff, but they might be. And then I would love to get some gatherers in here. So let's go with like 1, 2, and 3. This just doesn't look very good. All right, let's do something that's totally not necessary. We are going to come up here. So let's get this done. And then we're going to just throw one little double dynamite right there, so that we can put the 3, actually, we don't need it there. We need it here as well. So let's go into our dynamite, and that's what we need. There we go. And that'll allow us to just dynamite that out so that we can put 3 gatherers right in a row, and that should be pretty good. That should be pretty good. Okay, so now that let's check on some of the progress here. Okay, so the dynamite is done. So let's go ahead and dynamite this and say goodbye to the frame rates. Excellent. And then let's go ahead in here and let's add in a little bit more of that triple dynamite. Maybe we'll go to about there for this this section of it. They're actually working on this dam pretty good. So we might want to continue to raise some of these dams. I don't really want to do this one yet. I think what we'll do is let's cut that there. And then let's go ahead and remove this path and this set of stairs. And I just stranded a beaver. Oh man, the beavers always getting stranded. Let's put the path back in just so we can go rescue that beaver. Reminder to me that at night, at the nighttime is when I delete stuff like stairs. Because if I do it during the day, inevitably I strand a bunch of beavers, and that's really not what we want. Now granted, he shouldn't have been out there, you know, he should have been warned, but it is what it is. Okay, so let's kind of start to think about bot production. And I think the place that we're going to do bot production is right about here. So let's get some stairs coming up here. And this probably won't make much sense, but it will. It will eventually. And I think we're going to need stairs here as well. Hopefully not a path. I don't really... Whatever. I'll just put the path in. Might as well. Just get it out of the way. We'll do the path. They might need it. Who knows? And then we're going to come in here and we are going to dynamite most of this stuff out. We're going to dynamite this whole little area down to so that it is level with this this levee here, which is mainly just cosmetic, but also to kind of funnel the water past these pumps. And then we're going to build a little bot production area right here because we already have power. It's right here. And if we go into our science, and let's unlock all of these, the charging station, the bot assembler, the bot part factory, the control tower to boost performance, and then the grease factory, which I remember seeing requires a fair amount of canola oil. So we're going to probably have to import that up into here, which should be okay. Whoa, 32 unemployed beavers. Okay, so this district's kind of an equilibrium. This one is not. So why don't we pause like 2 of those? And then what's up with this 22 unemployed beavers? Whoa. So let's go ahead and pause like 4 of those. That's quite a few. Quite a few beavers. All right, can I delete this? No. We're not there yet. Which is okay. I guess I can let them finish that. Might as well. They got plenty of stuff to work on. Including this dynamite, which is great. So we can go ahead and dynamite that away, and now they should be able to reach these, but not these ones in the back. Perfect. Exactly what we want. Anyway, what I was saying. Bot production. Bot production is going to go in this area right here. We have the power. We have the power connection, because I managed to think ahead. It's one of the few times that I actually do. Managed to think ahead. We still have plenty of power, and, well, right now is a bad example. We're in a drought, and we're using engines, which is not exactly the best representation. Although it does kind of remind me that we should probably go ahead and do another row of engines in here. So what I think I'll do is I'll just remove this path. And then we will make sure to come in here and get the cosmetics and the power shaft. We'll get those built. And let's get that built so that they can actually build those. But okay, so the bot production will go right over here, which should be good. Once we dynamite this down, and then we're gonna have to fill this whole thing with platforms. So I guess we could probably start that. So we're gonna need platforms like this. And I don't really know the final layout, but I do know that almost all of this area will require platforms. So we can go ahead and start to get those laid to create a nice flat area for the bot production. And that should be good. And then remember, the bots are going to be used over here in this district. Oh, and they actually finished building this dam. That's awesome. That's actually great. So I'm going to need recommendations on how to flood this area. As funny as it sounds, I'm kind of leaning towards bot-powered, what was I going to say? Fluid dumps, but that just seems absurd. And the charging station needs power. Well, this is going to be a lumber district, so we can just put a bunch of power. It only requires 50. So if we go into our power, one engine creates 400, so we can power 8 charging stations, which should be sufficient. Let's go in here. This is all going to be double dynamite, I believe. Yes, that is correct. And then these areas are going to be single. So let's make sure that we get those while we're up there. Might as well make it easy for ourselves, and then we'll continue to dynamite this away. Okay, and then we can go ahead in here and actually lay out these engines. Just make sure that the door is facing the right place, and let's get this one built. This will be the priority for now. And that should be good. And I didn't, unfortunately I did not continue this. Can I fit those in now? I can. Can I fit in the decorations? I can. Ooh. That's pretty nice. So why don't we do that? Why don't we continue this little well-being pattern that we have down here? And that'll be good. It kind of seals off the area, but that's okay. And have they started building this? No, not yet, because we're missing a platform. And that's okay. All right. How are we doing? 3 days left in the drought. 36 unemployed beavers. Whoa. I don't want to turn off too many more of these, just because maybe I'll turn off like one more here, just because I don't want to like crash the population. They actually have 6 vacancies. So why don't I go up into Wheelington and we will send River's Edge 10 beavers. That should be good. Oh, cool. And we got this dynamite laid, which is perfect. So let's go ahead and delete these and then delete the rubble. And then we can go ahead and put in 3 gatherers, and they should be able to reach most of this space. At least one of them can reach the whole thing. And these need to be on the highest workplace priority because they are food. And I just want to make sure that, are these on the highest workplace priority? Yes, they are. Perfect. And that should allow us to at least gather more mangroves. I really don't know if it's going to be enough. I really have no idea, honestly. And it looks like this engine is done. Perfect. So that should give us a little bit of a power boost, especially once we get these ones complete. And that should help us a lot in the what was I going to say? In the droughts, when the power wheels are not running. Because the power wheels do produce just a ton of power. I think we're still okay. Honestly, I haven't checked in a super long time. But I do think we're still okay for power. I should probably check though. Just because, you know, who knows. But okay, let's take a look. Let's take stock in what we have done. So let's see, how long are these gonna take? Yeah, so these are a little bit more than halfway there. That should be good. All of our other food resources are totally fine. And look at that, we're actually gonna have the first stock of mangrove fruits to last the night. As it dwindles down to 1. But yeah, I'm gonna call that, it lasted the night, the 1 mangrove fruit, and I'll call that a win. Even though now it's gone. I think it does mean that we are harvesting at a fairly good rate. So we now have 6 gatherers here. I hope that that's enough. It should be. I mean, you know, when you think about it, it should be enough. And let's see how these guys are doing. Yeah, they're still working on this interior. I think this is going to be the next thing that we do. Just because I want to keep these operational. This is going to be a pretty big job to rip those out because I want them replaced fairly quickly. Interestingly enough, this drought was probably the time to do it. You know, if we really think about it, the drought was probably the time to replace them. Okay, perfect. So now let's see, if I were to get rid of this whole path, can I reach down here? No, but it's very close. What if I were to put a path just like that? Can I reach down here? Yes, I can. So let's get rid of this whole thing. I'm going to put this on the highest priority. And then I'm actually going to put these platforms on the next highest. Just because I think that would be good. That's a good priority. Just because this stuff, this is kind of superfluous. I mean, raising the dam is kind of important, but we're a long ways off from raising the dam. I do want to get bots up and running. Honestly, having some bot builders in here would probably be pretty good to work through the night. It's actually not a bad idea. Maybe we'll just replace the whole map with bots. says he who has no bots at this time. Okay, so the algae is coming along. Do I need more algae? I think I'm going to add another level of algae. Maybe two more levels of algae. Probably extreme, but let's do it. Highest priority. And these are all going to be algae farmers. So let's go ahead. Let's get all of this done. Okay, and now we do need to continue to, ooh, that does mean that I'm going to have to come over here unless I swing it out this way. Yeah, I could do that. Could do something like that. That would work. Paths over here, stairs up here, and then a path coming in here. And then I would just have to do the exact same thing. I would have to swing it back around this way. And I would have to come out one more. Something like that, and you can see that we are just about out of out of range, or we're getting there for sure. So that should be good. That should give us a pretty decent amount of algae, I would think, and we should already have storage for it. Although some storage over here would probably be what we want, and I can fit a large storage right here. Do I have a path right there? No, so it needs to be at a higher level. It needs to be one higher. I can fit a large warehouse right here. So let's go ahead and get that. And let's spin that around, and this is going to store raw algae, and it's going to be set to supply, which should be good. And then what I can do actually is I can get a set of stairs down here. Ooh, this is going to be good. And then all I need to do is let's throw a pair of shrubs right in here. Let's get a path right here. I did miss a spot for some Wellbeing, so we'll get a scratcher in there. And then we're going to put a rooftop terrace right there. And I think that'd be nice, overlooking the tragic void, the empty map. Anyway, guys, this is probably going to bring us to the end of this episode. If you enjoyed it, definitely consider leaving a like and a comment. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so as I unpause these water pumps. I know for a fact that most of you are not subscribed to the channel, and I would really appreciate it if you would do me the huge kindness of subscribing. It would mean a lot, and it would really help with the channel's visibility. Let me know what you think of the series in the comments. I am really excited for where we're going, although this is, if I'm being honest, starting to lag my computer a little bit. I don't know if you guys can tell, a little bit. But again, we're going to try and push it as far as we can go. So I'll see you guys in the next episode. I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks. Bye.